Hello everyone, touch the leg and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Tsering Palden. Today's video I would actually like to share about a feeling that I have always had being an immigrant nurse, the feeling of gratefulness of having an opportunity to actually be able to continue with my nursing career. Despite the basic education being done back home in India. And I'm not sure how many of the immigrant nurses feel the same way, but I am pretty much sure that there might be a feeling of same positiveness or gratefulness with you as well. So to begin with, as you all know that if you are for sure or certain to be coming to United States, any part of it, you can always start your nursing verification services or nursing evaluation services back from home, depending on the requirements of the state that you are actually immigrating or looking forward to move to. Having said that, some states do require English examinations, so you need to prepare that. You can very well start from there. You might end up even finishing the process even when you are back home, and if that in that case you can still sit for NCLEX RN examination, and the approved centers there in India. I'm not sure if Nepal has one, but in India, yes, I know they are. So you can even sit for your examination back there and clear your examination. Once you are done with the process, with the examination, you are licensed as a registered nurse, irrespective of whether you have completed general nursing in midwifery or a bachelor's program back in India. The NCLEX RN examination is same for both. Now, if you have a bachelor's program back home, then you do not have, you have a bachelor's degree, so you can always submit that when you get employed to your employer. In that way, you have a little more extra income because you have a bachelor's degree. Second thing is, if you do not have a bachelor's degree, you can always get yourself employed into your hospital, and the hospitals have their own tuition reimbursement program. Not a whole lot, but at least you have some amount that will contribute for you to continue with your getting your bachelor's degree. So in that way, that will help you to a certain amount. Yes, many of the hospitals do require or do look forward to hiring nurses with bachelor's degree. Having said that, your experience back home always counts, whether even if it's a year or two, and the more the better. These experience letters can be submitted to the respective departments in your institute, and in that way they might undergo some verification process by themselves, and then have extra income added to your base income. So yes, do not forget to do that, submitting your experience letter to the respective person. Next thing is that having a RN job, especially if you have been RN back home and you want to continue doing so, what better opportunity than this, right? And having an RN job is not just stable, you have everything, your health, insurance and everything. Even if you have a family, there are, of course, the deductions are made from your salary, but then you have pretty much covered and stable until and unless you leave the job, right? And talking about the income is not bad. Nurses are known to have great incomes. Of course, there comes with great income comes the tax too, but yes, we do have a good income source as well. So yep, those are certain things that to look forward to becoming a registered nurse or continue with our nursing education or career since we have already put a lot of time, energy back home. And it is nice to be being recognized and to continue to, do what we love to do. Now, some drawbacks I would say for us is that I'm not sure about the other countries, but back in India and Nepal, the written examination pattern is not the same as how we do here in the United States. We have all answers given, and we have to choose the best or select all that applies or select the best. So we tend to have more problems or struggling with those, especially select all that those apply. And I think we really need to practice more and more, and then in that way we get used to the pattern. Whereas back home, what we had was either fill in the blanks or matches, or most of them are like written like question and answer, so you have to write a lot of answers depending on the question and the amount of score or marks that is assigned to the question. So the second thing is finding a job. Yes, back in New York, most of the private hospitals would hire only those with a bachelor's program, completed with that bachelor's program. Even the city hospitals that I actually worked did actually take in those who have enrolled in a bachelor's program but not have completed. They did prefer, and they still, many of the hospitals prefer nurses either currently in the program or have completed at least the bachelor's degree. So those are those. And hiring to the hospital directly, some depending on the vacancy, the recruitment actually differs from each institute. I cannot really say, but what I would guess is that someone who has studied in the United States itself and have clinical experience, and versus an immigrant nurse who have a year experience back home, I would say that they would prefer more for those who have, even though they are new grads, they have studied here and have clinical experience. So I would say that they tend to prefer more of them versus us. So it's always good to actually have little experience, about at least 6 months in a nursing home if you don't at all get in the hospital. In that way, at least you have an experience, in a facility in the United States, if and that looks good in the resume. Not that at all times they do that. I know there are many nurses who got hired directly without having experience in the United States. But if you are finding hard time getting into a hospital, then instead of waiting, I think it's a good option to do that. Or you can contact the agencies and then work in the hospital via the agency, and then when you get to know people there or the managers there, and then that there are positions open, you can apply in that way too. And the next thing is I also want to actually talk about how some of my friends, due to certain reasons, had to actually redo all their nursing education right from the start. I've also seen my teachers, some of my teachers who have years of experience teaching back home in India, and have immigrated to the United States, and knowing the importance of the education or the job to serve. So many reasons of their own, they have actually studied to become a registered nurse and are serving as a nurses, and it is actually very empowering and very motivating to see even our teachers with years of experience continue to do what they love to do. And due to all these reasons, I feel that those immigrant nurses who have all the opportunity to actually continue, but some that I know are stuck with the examinations, have not cleared the first try or the second try and have given up. That, you know, do not give it up, because, you know, it is worth trying, and we haven't given an opportunity to continue. I have seen, and I continue to see, my co-workers stating that they are still paying off for their, you know, education, you know, loans. And luckily we don't have that, you know, we don't have a loan, because we got the opportunity to continue what we had, except for the verification process, which might have taken a year or so. So often I realize how lucky we are, and I just wanted to share about this, because for those who are stuck there, feel hopeless, or feel like, you know, you will not get there to become an RN here, don't ever let yourself down. If you are really interested, make changes to the way you study, you know, spend more time in studying, and you will get there for sure. If you have any questions, feel free to leave me in the comment section. If the immigrant nurses feel, you know, the same, you know, the gratefulness, feel free to share your experience. And yes, this is my video for today, and I hope, you know, that those who are lagging behind or have you know, withdrawn for a bit will take the courage, effort, and motivation to continue to achieve what you want in your life. All right, have a good day then.